Konnichiwa, everyone. Anonymous here, back with another chapter review of The Black Cat in the Witch's Classroom by Kaneda Yousuke. Today we'll be recapping and discussing Chapter 7 as we find out more about the female version of Castor, Pollux, the Gemini. And we start right off the top with the caption, the story title, the story of Pollux Gemini, and when Castor is suddenly turned into a girl. Uh, right here on page 2, we can see Pollux immediately comes across as more peppy than surly Castor. Though the feminist silhouette we saw back in, I think it was chapter 4, when Spica was first exploring the school, did turn out to be a woman. It turns out her and Castor share the same body. What happens is, uh, when someone touches them of that gender, they turn into that gender. So, for example, Io Toros touched Castor when she was trying to save him last chapter, and that's what turned Castor into Pollux. And then Pollux turned to Castor when Libra, the womanizer from again chapter 4, touched her then. We did learn more about the Gemini magic, as we see here that Pollux is stripping. It turns out she can use light magic to copy anything that she sees. Uh, though she does make a dig here about at Spica about her breast size. Um, so, you know, Pollux is a woman of culture, if you know what I mean. As I mentioned, she seems a lot more playful than Castor. She immediately uses her light-based magic to steal the mandrake that they were supposed to be hunting for from Claude instead of actually going to get it. Uh, she claims that she finished the assignment, though I don't think Claude buys that and is a little upset by that. Uh, after a second, he freaked out, which I don't blame him for. He thinks that she needs to give it back to him and that they that's not in the spirit of the assignment. Pollux didn't give it back to him, but was excited to see him flustered. She wasn't excited to see was Spico and Aya here defend Io defending Claude, as she immediately runs away using again her light magic to make an explosion and make him disappear. Uh, so now we learn a little bit more about the backstory about here. Claude's telling us the backstory about Pollux. She was more friendly again in the past, and she was very helpful. But much like everything else that seems to happen, it all traces back to 2 years ago when Claude disappears. Claude was supposed to protect her and a group of other students, and didn't, or did, but disappeared and turned into a cat. He says the sin is his to bear alone, and he can't tell us the whole story until he's paid his dues. Dun dun dun. Again, more foreshadowing for the future chapters. Probably won't find out for 30 to 40 more chapters at least. Uh, again, one thing I didn't think was very important was when last chapter was when Claude was explaining the test. He mentioned there was an off limits area of the forest. Uh, Much like in Harry Potter, where you're not allowed to go into the Forbidden Woods, that's usually foreshadowing multiple chapters in advance. In this scenario, it's next chapter, which is good. There's a tease, and then the hook is paid off the next turn or the next chapter, which is fun for the reader. You don't have to. It allows you to spend more time focusing on the characters and their interactions than dumb little side plot notes, plot lines, and comments that people make that you might have to write down for something that happens 30 to 50 chapters in advance. Uh, Io here sees someone hanging in the distance, and it looks like someone's hanging from the noose. And of course, both of them immediately think it's Pollux, because she might kill herself. But it turns out to be this creepy thing. Uh, you know, they're running off to save their coven member, and instead they seem to get trapped. Though Pollux is in the bottom left frame, you see there is waiting there too. Uh, she's here to being like, oh no, this is some she's like, oh no, 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 that hanging guy you're supposed to stay away from because it's for monsters to lure in humans. And then the sticky stuff is again to trap them. These monsters are pretty smart. uh, obviously, she says this as two of her coven members are already trapped. Uh, Before they're really able to start freaking out, um, they before she's able to speak and Io, a giant praying mantis looking thing comes out from behind her and attacks her. Uh, Boom. She's able to easily dodge it, and Speak is ready to fight in her honor, but she's like, hey, no big deal. Pew, one shot, Gemini magic, light beam, boom, done, and that's the end of the chapter, with Pollux kind of being a badass. So we leave this chapter off with Spica and Io still stuck. Pollux thinks she can protect them from anything and everything that comes their way, and they don't need any stupid teacher like Claude to save them. Uh, with the implied thought that he's worthless and shouldn't be talked about ever. Again, she's not a big fan of Claude. I'm not sure this is going to work out for everyone involved, especially Pollux, as being an overzealous teenager has never blown up in anyone's face ever, as we know. But we'll see what happens next chapter. If you enjoy watching this, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would make me very happy. Thank you so much, and have a great day. See you soon.